there.
Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary.
Today on One, SWAPO unapologetic about white comment. Coronavirus is a hoax, says the Republican Party president. Nudo parts ways with resistant members. And women robbed in unregistered taxi.
The ruling party SWAPO has defended the statement about white voters made by the party president Hage Geingob at the campaign launch for the November 2020 regional and local authority elections.
So it was necessary, and it was a political statement, by the way, for the president to mention his observations, which is not only his observation, it's public observation. We've seen how people are registering with the sole purpose to say we are going to make sure that we vote for anything else but SWAPO. Even in the past when other people left, there were statements made by people who were in offices at that time. So I don't see this one to be a strange issue that must be focused on a daily basis. It's just something that was mentioned as an observation, and fair for that matter, and we are not apologetic about it.
According to the party's executive director, the party is calling the statement made by the president Hage Geingob as fair and the necessary observation. Austin Samupwa further noted that the comment was just the president dividing from his notes and sharing his observations, but did admit that there is a section of white people that are registering with the intent to head the SWAPO party. He however stated that Namibians, despite their ethnicity, are welcome to vote for the party of their choice.
We've seen that when the president talked on that 44-second clip that is being taken out of proportion, he was actually speaking off the cuff. He was not even reading from his notes. So there is a section of white people who intentionally, as he has observed and as all of us have observed, are registering in order to punish SWAPO in a way, to vote. So to say that white people are only in Dr. Itola's party is also a misstatement. Yes, there are those that are with Dr. Itola, there are those with other parties as well. It is their freedom to do that. But to target the SWAPO party, you register because you want to fix the SWAPO party. I think that that aspect is the one that the president was addressing at that point, and that is the aspect we are saying as a SWAPO party. If you register with an intent to dislodge SWAPO from power, we have a problem with that. It's saying register because we have a civic duty as Namibians, whether you are black or white or from whatever tribe.
The SWAPO party still believes that the president's whole speech was lost, as according to the party, there are opportunists that want to derail his message.
I'm in a meeting.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Okay, let's get right into it. Can we talk about the Q2 fiscal report? Ricardo, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Pewa. Well, it's clear we're feeling the economic headwinds. Profits have leveled and we're...
First place!
Sorry, guys, it's my dad.
Did you hear? I'm in first place. And I just broke the lap record.
Dad? I'm a bit busy here.
Oh.
Okay. Where?
Oh, sorry.
2020 just got crazier in a good way. You
You can now enjoy fast, reliable, and uncapped internet at 25 megabits per second with SpeedLink Light Plus at crazy prices starting from as little as 898 Namibian dollars. Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
The president of the Republican Party, Henk Mudge, during a press conference held at the Parliament building in Windhoek, has made allegations claiming that the COVID-19 pandemic is a hoax.
Thousands of people had the virus, they didn't even know about it. I myself had the virus. I didn't know that I had it. I just went with my wife when she was getting sick. And she was cured by vitamins. But I went along because she was tested and I tested positive. I had no symptoms, and so thousands of people in Namibia. So it is a virus, like the flu virus. People will get it, some people will not notice it, some people will get infected and have symptoms, some other people will get sick, some people may even die. So man-made or not man-made, that's not the point. The point is it was taken to the extreme for dubious reasons.
With Namibia recording over 12,000 positive COVID-19 cases and more than 100 deaths reported by the Health Ministry thus far, the leader of the RP party, Henk Mudge, has claimed that the coronavirus pandemic, which has caused over 1 million deaths globally, is a worldwide conspiracy planned by the global elite to establish a one world order.
This corona pandemic was a conspiracy by people who were hell-bent to establish a one world order. Names that pop up all over are those of Bill and Melinda Gates, George Soros, the Rockefeller Foundation, as well as the World Health Organization, just to name a few. Since the so-called coronavirus was identified as this very deadly virus, governments all over the world were made to believe by the so-called experts of the WHO and other doctors and scientists, who were obviously heavily influenced by the WHO, that this unique virus will kill millions of people and that certain measures need to be imposed to save the lives of citizens. Many doctors and scientists all over the world have issued well-researched academic papers questioning various aspects of this COVID-19 virus. But they were ridiculed by the mass media and made out to be spreading fake news. Their videos were even taken off YouTube, Facebook, and other social platforms. And one can ask, is that what we call freedom of speech that we all fought so tirelessly for?
Mudge also added that his party and other stakeholders from Germany are planning to form a non-governmental organization to prove that the virus is indeed a hoax and thereafter institute legal action against the government on behalf of the people and businesses that have suffered financially as a result of the state of emergency proclamations.
Whatever legal action is going to be taken will most definitely not to try and benefit the business industry, the banking industry, or individuals, self-employed individuals, not at all. The people who suffer most were the grassroots level. There's not even a question about it, because of the fact that businesses suffered and closed down and so on. So it's not only about the businesses, it's about the grassroots level. Even though the street vendors will have a claim, because they were prohibited from selling their stuff on the streets, vegetables and fruit and all that, and meat and so on and so forth. So they will also have a claim. So if legal action is going to be taken, it is going to be taken to benefit every single Namibian who has suffered because of this. It is not, and I want to make it very clear, it is not to try and get certain businesses to benefit from that. Not at all. Everybody will be able to chip in and come forward and say what they lost. And that is for every single Namibian. And it may even go as far, and I'm just speculating, it may even go as far as to say that, but because the government spent such a lot of money on all these nonsense and this COVID thing, that money could have been used for drought aid, food aid to the rest of the country where the people are suffering up in the north and wherever, and the government were not able to do that.
Besides the RP party threatening to take legal action against the government over the way it responded to the pandemic, the government has also been under severe pressure from the private sector to open up the borders and save the economy from the impact of COVID-19.
I'm feeling so bad because of I have been arrested. We are trying to sell to provide our kids with food, but the police, they come to arrest us.
I was literally apprehended in Independence Avenue. I mean, there was no prior communications with the police or with Bonn or Benga Namibia. These guys literally just apprehended us on surprise.
And when you are talking in a manner that is exaggerated about brutality in this country, I should ask you in which country you live.
Yes, I can confirm that indeed there were 2 cell phones that were found after a search was conducted at the cells that the Fish Road accused are staying.
Do you understand the amount of money that the government has spent on the fight against COVID-19? Could they have spent 300 million on tracing people and managing people? Is that even possible?
The National Unity Democratic Organization today announced that it has taken the decision to let go of several members that are leading the party structure in its stronghold of Okakarara. NUDO accuses them of working against the party.
If you have a regional councillor on the eve of the election that goes on social media and call on his people to say, don't vote for Nuto, vote for Dr. Itula. It was open secret all over the social media.
According to the party's president, Esther Munyangwe, since she took over the helm of the NUDO party, her then rival, Vetaruhe Kandorodu, has not taken his defeat to her lightly at the party's Congress of March 2019 and has since formed a faction within the party with the aim of undermining its leadership. The party's Secretary General says that Kandorodu has been busy with underhand tactics to make the party ungovernable.
We realized that reality after Congress, that you cannot hold someone hostage or responsible or try to victimize that person simply because that person did not support you or your slates when you came into power. We made that very clear, that after the Congress, let's move together with this party in the interest of the party. There were people that were supporting control, but that immediately when we took over, that also came on board and said, it was my right to support Kandorogu during that time, but here I am, let's move together as a party and behind your leadership. The problem with Kandorogu was my uncle, by the way, when we are firing him now today, is that instead of him also trying on his part to bring that group that were supporting him to the fold, he was the one that was supporting them to form the group called Buramanga at that stage. We tried our level best. In fact, we even protected Mr. Kandorogu until this day. But you must also understand that we have 2 dynamics in the party. We have over 16,000 members of this party that voted for this party and its leadership during last year's election. They all were also calling us very weak leaders, that we don't take decisive decision against people that are actually destroying the party from inside. We said, no, wait, we cannot fire people. Let's try to engage. Let's try to engage.
The party's president noted that the party has observed several transgressions by Kandorodu and let him off the hook, but the matter has now reached a point at which relieving Kandorodu was the only alternative.
We therefore want to inform our members publicly that the leadership of this party, under my headship, has decided to expel Mr. Kandorogu from this party with immediate effect, as from now on. We equally took a decision to recall him from the regional council seat of Okakara constituency, because we simply cannot trust him any longer to represent Nuto's interest in that position. We will communicate this decision now immediately after the press conference to the Oshobonjipa Regional Council. It is said that it has to come to this, but he did not give us any other option than to take that decision in the interest of the party. Equally, ladies and gentlemen, we have decided to suspend Mr. Ambrose Mujindile from his position as constituency coordinator of the Okakara constituency, as well as to recall him from serving under a Nuto ticket in Okakara Town Council with immediate effect.
The party further announced that it will launch its election campaign this Saturday at Ochinene in the Omaheke region. Kandorodu has not been reachable for comment as his mobile number remained off.
Win free airtime with One Africa TV. Share your comments on the channel. SMS your feedback, name and town to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
A Windhoek resident who boarded an unregistered taxi from town to Cooper fell victim to a robbery at knife point. The driver, together with a female companion, was successfully apprehended by the Windhoek City Police. The traumatized victim shared her ordeal with Today on One.
I guess it's a bad thing that happens sometimes in the streets, and I'm glad the guy got caught, because it's just a common taxis, a public transport, what we need every day. Things like this happen, I believe, is tragic. And I believe many people should be aware that some taxis are really dangerous at night, because it's not safe. They can drop you somewhere, nowhere, middle of the street. They can rob you. You never know what they can do. And I was a victim of this kind of situation, unfortunately. And yeah, it's just sad to see things like that.
Superintendent from the Windhoek City Police said that the car used in the robbery is not registered as a taxi and the driver does not have a driver's license.
It's a norm. Normally, if a crime happens, we always follow up. So the city police members follow up. Fortunately, at the place where the incident happened, there is a camera. So the taxi was nicely captured, the big number and everything, even the driver himself. These big numbers, this P210, it's fake. The registration number on the taxi, it's fake. So this car is completely not a taxi. Oh my God. The driver is not having a driver's license. So all in all, it's all illegal activities.
Nuyomba further urged passengers to be vigilant when boarding taxis and to always remember the numbers written on the taxis in case of such incidents to make tracking easier.
He has to listen to the information. Now, that information needs to interpret it and then convert it, and that part of the brain will then absorb the information. I think it will be a huge opportunity.
What is your true purpose, and how will I commit as a leader to continue?
When you speak about the communication and how it's being received,
how do you relate to people? I mean, those respect, love, those are the crucial things before you build the solutions.
In other leading stories, Agribank launched the Women and Youth Loan Scheme in Windhoek with relaxed conditions to encourage participation and enhanced financial inclusion. The majority of women are unable to access affordable financing for farming purposes, while current financing for the youth is not at an optimal level. Thus, the Agribank Women and Youth Scheme is flexible and provides relaxed conditions for funding. The purpose of the scheme is to promote financial inclusion, economic empowerment, employment creation, as well as to stimulate Namibia's economic growth. Eligible candidates that are set to benefit from this scheme are women and young Namibians or permanent residents aged between 18 and 35 years. The entry age is capped at 18 years, and in case of partnerships, 80% of partners should be between the age of 18 to 35 years in order to qualify. In case of limited companies, 80% of the directors are required to be between the same age threshold, while the age limit for women, as well as professionals in the agriculture and related fields, is not limited. Other requirements of this scheme for companies include business registration, licenses or permits, as well as certificates of incorporation, memorandum and articles of association, and identification documents for all the directors. New and existing businesses are eligible, subject to financial viability and development impact. The target group can benefit from all Agribank loan products with the exception of debt takeover and debt consolidation, but preference will be given to climate-resilient projects, agro-processing, poultry and intensive farming projects. And the U.S. Embassy in Namibia has donated 11,000 face shields and 3,000 nasal testing swabs packaged with specimen transport media tubes to the Ministry of Health and Social Services and the Namibia Institute of Pathology. The donation is part of the $100 million Namibia donation to fight COVID-19 that was announced by the U.S. Embassy in April. The U.S. Embassy will continue to provide personal protective equipment and laboratory equipment to Namibia through this funding. The nasal testing swabs are accompanied by specimen transport media that enables the sample to be collected and transported for testing. The swab pack provides a much-needed sample collection system that is in short supply worldwide. This type of swab is the main specimen collection type used in COVID-19 testing and is the first step to obtaining a laboratory result.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. The Popular Democratic Movement (PDM) has laid a complaint with the Ombudsman against the President of the country for remarks made at a recent gathering in the capital. Pala said Geingob is the President of the country and that is why he should be respected. David said the President should point out the white people that have declared war on the ruling party and apologize for the remarks. Ronnie said the PDM is trying to grab the white votes and that it is a good stunt. Kamui said this is another highlight of how toothless the Ombudsman is. Anthony said since the investigations will take 3 months, he will leave the country. We look at more comments on South African singer Lira becoming the travel ambassador for Namibia by the Federation of Namibia Tourism Association. Hannah said Lira's appreciation makes the country proud. Shifeni said this was a good selection and that she deserves it. Rosalia said she should have become the South African ambassador to Namibia instead. And Carol pointed out that she took the role by choice. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today and One.
saying things that degrade women, for me, number one, I am not there, because that is basically what I don't believe in. I don't stand for things that degrade women.
What do you think we can add? What can we put in the basket? First of all, let's put Blossom back in the basket.
Look at the person like, man, let's do a song.
Let's do something.
Just
let's
like
collaborate.
Let's collaborate.
Just Africans were claiming us.
Yes, exactly. To the rest of the world, they belong to us. Namibia, Baba, Namibia.
I'll help you carry on.
Creating music and putting some stuff out for the people who've been supporting me, that's definitely something that's next on my list.
A look at the weather forecast. First, an advisory from the Windhoek Met Office. Heat wave conditions will persist over the interior. Please do take the necessary precautions. The Namibia interior partly cloudy and hot to very hot with a few showers in places in the evening. The coast partly cloudy and cool to warm with fog patches at first, and the wind moderate northwesterly to southwesterly. Now a look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
World News, the biggest African and international news stories. Focus on